me.
Okay.
Feel free to
Okay.
disagree with me. Don't worry, I won't get mad and
No,
upset.
I hope you won't get mad because it's dark outside and it's Hollywood. So who knows, right?
Yeah, I don't think that I will get upset. I'm a libertarian, so I'm used to everyone disagreeing with me, Republicans and Democrats, on politics.
I'm a Sagittarian.
A Sagittarian?
So that's
good. Libertarian isn't actually a zodiac sign, but that's okay. That's very funny.
And that's
But a
close
libertarian
enough.
is, I could say that's my zodiac sign is a libertarian.
So that's
funny.
your new bit.
That is. So hi, this is Mark Selzer, and this is Pod Potatoes, my weekly, monthly, bi-monthly sort of podcast where I get a person and we talk about stuff.
It sounds like you're on menopause and your period doesn't come as often as possible.
Maybe male menopause. Maybe this is what I do for midlife crisis is comedy. Having too late for a midlife crisis. So what is your name?
I'm Michelle MaliZaki.
MaliZaki. And
Yeah.
how long have you been in the U.S.?
I've been living here forever.
Forever?
Yeah,
Yeah, where are you originally from?
Japan.
Japan, unless it's a secret. You don't have to tell
No,
me.
it's not a secret. I go to Costco in Simi Valley, and usually like a former vet comes up to me and they would usually say, Vietnamese? No. Korean? No. Filipino? No. Like, what are you?
Japanese.
Japanese.
That would be my guess. Most people can't tell. I can usually tell sometimes Korean from Japanese and Chinese, usually.
Yeah.
I would like some decaf coffee and some water and some French fries.
I have hot tea, please. Do you have hot tea?
Hot tea? Sure.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. That was our fearless waitress. We're here at Mel's. I like to record where there's ambient noise.
Well, any noise is music.
Where there's, except music because that's copyrighted by somebody else. But I like to be in a room where there's some activity. I just like that, and I like it to be more of a casual conversation. A lot of people do podcasts in studios, and I'm not really all that excited about it. I mean, I'm okay with it. I don't have anything against it, but I started recording. I used to do an educational show for the Libertarian Party, and I found that the shows that were the best were the ones that were recorded in crowded rooms with a lot of people running around the periphery, like at a convention. And I would interview the political candidates and the luminaries of the Libertarian Party at, for instance, the National Convention, and I found those were the most interesting interviews.
Wow.
But there were people milling about, so I usually like to do a room with ambient noise. I don't know if that's going to bore people to death and they're going to turn off this podcast. I don't know, Who knows? So you've been here forever.
Yeah, forever.
And people come up to you and assume that you're Vietnamese.
Or whatever, Korean, Taiwanese, but never a Japanese.
Really?
No.
That's weird. I was in Japan once, many, many years ago, when my wife, who was a exotic dancer, was there, and I was making sure that the Yakuza didn't kidnap her or abuse her in some way. So I was there as her bodyguard.
Are you sure that was your wife, or
Yes.
were you the pimp?
No, I was trying to make sure that no one was pimping her, and all she was doing was dancing, which is what she wanted to do, and she was just a continually forever naked person. She was just very...
That's great. You don't have to buy her any clothes.
I didn't have to buy her any clothes. I still had to buy her clothes, but they were always very revealing clothes. And as soon as we'd get home, all her clothes would come off, and she'd be running around naked. And, eventually I got tired of looking at her naked, so I would say, okay, let somebody else look at her naked for a while. And she was very happy running around naked in front of everybody.
And make money at the same time.
And making lots of money too. But she used to come home and cry though. She used to come home crying that someone else she would complain was older and fatter was making more money than her.
Well, there's some people like certain things and some other people like other things.
And I had to go into the strip club and teach her how to make a lot of money off of everybody. And just because because I'm a man and I know how to take advantage of men, and lots of women have taken advantage of me, so I know how women take advantage. And so I had to teach her how to take advantage. And she got the idea and became a master manipulator and was always the best paid stripper there.
Wow.
And the other girls would get mad at her and they want to beat her up.
Oh, no.
So I would have to go into the strip clubs here and sometimes be her bodyguard. Some of the other girls would beat her up. But then she became very interested in fighting other girls. She actually got in a fight at a strip club, and then she became a female boxer.
Wow. What?
And started beating up girls, and which is weird because she really loved girls. She's bisexual, and she used to beat up other girls, and she was like ranked number 3 in her weight class.
Wow.
But then she would get up to the top 2, and they would just knock her right out, just completely knock her out.
Oh,
and so she eventually had to quit.
You.
And she had to quit that. But then she got she had some kind of undiagnosed diabetes.
Oh, no.
And it gave her brain seizures when she ate sugar, and then she became psychotic, and I had to get a restraining order because she was trying to run me over with a car that I bought her.
Oh gosh, that's a little too much.
So it was, my life is too much. I've got too much of a life.
Drama.
Very dramatic. Too much of a dramatic life. What about you? Do you have any dramatic stories in your life?
No, my life is pretty much boring.
Boring life?
I got 2 kids, 7 and 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing comedy?
I've been doing comedy for the last 4 years.
4 years?
But I had like a terrible, sad married life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think I was prepped for comedy.
Right. It'll give you lots of material.
Yeah.
Are your children allowed to view your comedy or look at your comedy?
Yeah, sure.
Really? I know Louis C.K. doesn't allow his children to.
Well, I don't masturbate in front of people, so hey, I usually do it in the closet.
In the closet. Well,
Yeah.
some people are more expressive. You know, they show their affection in alternative ways.
Alternative.
But he doesn't allow his kids to view his shows, and hopefully not him masturbating either.
No. I don't want to see anybody masturbating, especially like my dad. Like, oh.
Yeah, that'd be really gross. That'd be really gross.
Do you have any kids?
None that I know of, but I think I have some. I might have some out there. Might have some I don't know of. But and we're going back into another sad story of one of my marriages. The wife I had before, the boxer stripper, was a designer, a graphic designer.
Wow.
And she died of cancer.
Oh, no.
But before she died of cancer, she had some ovaries taken out that were fertilized by me in a test tube. And then what she wanted to do was, after she had a hysterectomy, have the eggs put into another woman. A surrogate mother. Then she could have a child that was biologically mine and hers. And then, but unfortunately she didn't make it. She didn't live. So the embryos were sold. So there were 7 of them. And they were sold out there in the world. So I may have 7 children running around out there that legally I can never find, and they can never find me. But who knows? The law might change. They might be able to find out.
Wow.
You never know.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, thank you.
Could I have some? Oh, there's some ketchup over there. It's hiding.
Yes.
Thank you.
You don't see anything else right now?
No, right now.
You're good.
Thank you.
We're doing okay. So what about? So anyway, that's another sad story. I have many sad stories in my life. I don't know how to make that one into comedy. But the stripper boxer is a good one. I might get into comedy. Someday. We will see. Or maybe a very sad movie.
I was just listening to something and they said comedy is tragedy plus time.
Yeah.
But I think comedy is tragedy times 5.
Yeah. Times 10 or 11.
Yeah, 11.
11 if you know the reference. If that's too obscure for you. So, talking about, I guess, Louis C.K., that'll take us into, I guess, the Me Too movement.
Oh yeah, me too.
Me Too. Have you been watching that or looking at that in the news? Do you look at the news?
Yeah. Kind of. It's been always. I don't know. I don't know. I used to do production management for Japanese media company. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for some artificial sweetener. You'll have to wave down the waitress. See if I could get some out of them. Go ahead.
I was doing this. I had this project, and it says so everything I did was for Japanese companies. And one time I was doing a photo shoot for a magazine, and I thought the magazine was called Classy. Classy is like a classy magazine, like a Vogue in Japan, with expensive clothes and I don't know, high fashion model. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So I set up a location and everything. And then on the day of the shoot, this girl comes in and she's the model, but she doesn't look like a high fashion model. I'm like, okay, whatever. And we go to the location and I saw the outfit that she was going to wear. And they are like little too lacy, skimpy. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then she changed and then the first pose, she was like sitting on the floor, like, that's not right. And then it turned out Classy is the company of the publication, not the publication itself. The publication was Playboy Japan.
Oh, really?
And then the photographer didn't like the model that much. So he's like, okay, Michelle, why don't you be the model?
Really?
No.
You didn't want to do that?
No, maybe I should have, but I didn't want to.
You got to do that stuff while you're young.
I know, right? Like now I think about it, I should have done it, but then I'm like, no way.
It's an adventure.
Yeah.
My second wife did. She was a stripper and she also posed in men's magazines. And so that was, I wonder if this is decaf. Our waitress is absent. We'll know if I get really hyper and have a heart attack because of my high blood pressure. We'll see what happens with me, if this is decaf coffee or not. But anyway, she posed she just loved to be naked in front of everyone and everyone looking at her naked. So she posed in magazines and she made money doing that kind of stuff. And she liked it. So, it was like, I explained to her as much as I could that, this was going to keep her from ever running for president, And,
well, I can't be a president, so maybe I should have posed.
Right. Maybe you should have done it. It just depends. I said there's this, I saw, no, this cough is terrible. I have to remember to take my medicine to get rid of my cough before I do my podcast from now on. But anyway, there's this awful documentary on, or it looks awful, I haven't seen it, but it's on Netflix, and I see it sometimes because I look at documentaries, and it says after porn. And it says, what happens to porn actresses after they're done doing porn? I'm like, who cares? Who would want to look at that? We're looking at you because you're young and beautiful. We don't care what happens to you after you get old and fat and everything starts to sag. We don't want to look at you. We don't care. Please, I have no interest in looking at her. I feel like I don't want to see that. So, Me Too. That was your Me Too moment. I don't know.
Well, I've other Me Too moments, but I volunteer at the old folks home, and there are some people who are in the industry, so they would always tell me like, okay, can I have your nudie picture and stuff.
Well, if you would have posed, you could have given them to them and said, here it is.
I'm like, I don't have it. And besides, isn't that like a manner for you to send me one before?
Right. Send me your first.
They were just like, keep on telling me all kind of stuff, like, oh, come over to my bed.
So what would the people of Japan think of Me Too? Is there a Me Too movement in Japan? Or do you know?
Well, I think there are a lot of Me Too movement, a lot of actresses and singers, they had to sleep maybe in order to get a job or better songs or better role in a movie. But I don't think they are ready to speak up yet.
In Japan?
Yeah, in Japan.
In Japan it's still taboo to talk? I was reading about, what is his name? TJ... what is his name? He was in, I know him from the movie Deadpool. And he evidently had a woman that was jealous of his relationship with his wife and had this thing for him that was constantly spreading bad rumors about him. She used this to attack him in the press, and it's cost him some work and some job. Evidently this woman has been a harasser and was harassing him, has been harassing him and his wife for years and years and years. So there's a lot of negative press about it, but that's his story, and I have no reason not to believe it. But it just seems that, everyone that's accused, you immediately say, yes, they did it. I was reading about some of the Bill Cosby accusers. I'm saying I don't believe that he is guilty of something, but evidently when you have some people that come forward, you have you have a lot of Hollywood crazies who come forward after that. There were two women that accused him of doing something to them at the Playboy Mansion. In fact, it was 10 years apart from each other. And the police went and investigated it, and the Playboy Mansion has a archive of every party. And so they have a photographer that goes around and takes photographs of all the celebrities and crowd shots of all the people. And there's even existing there in these archive of each party VHS tapes from surveillance cameras that were in the hallways of the common areas where people would come and go from the party. And so the police got a hold of that. They cooperated with him. They gave him all this stuff. Police looked through everything. They didn't find either Cosby or his accusers on any of the tapes of the photograph or the logbook coming in.
So they weren't there?
They weren't there. And then they asked their families and they said, and their friends, they said, I was with her every weekend during that period of time, and we never met Bill Cosby. Went to the Cosby. Never went to the Playboy Mansion. And their parents, and they said, oh, she lies. She's making up stuff about celebrities all the time. And then they went to Bill Cosby, and he has archives too. And the weekend in question, the day in question, the night in question, he had concert posters for both of those nights showing that he was performing in front of thousands of people on the other side of the country. So, and you know, a lot of these women were proven to be false afterwards. You know, and not that I don't think some of them are true, but you know, you do have a lot of piling on, and you do have some crazy people with vendettas. I know people I have no amount of faith. I mean, none. I'm a nobody in the comedy world.
Yeah.
But but I am at least occasionally getting paid and at least getting up on shows. I did a tour of Alaska. I've done a few things in comedy, but I'm still an absolute nobody, okay? So, and I have no TV credits at all. So, but anyway, people still make up things about me. I mean, there's just nutty people, on the internet, and they take something I wrote on Facebook and then start making up nutty things and slandering me. And I know also people do that as well, just in crowds. And, I've had that happen to me actually my whole life. I've captured people's imagination to a certain extent, but I've never really been able to make any money off of that. I need to figure out how to monetize that. So, I don't know. Maybe it's a reaction to some of the offensive things that I say in my comedy.
No. But like, it's, sometimes, like Kevin Spacey, he is wrong. Right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
But like some other time, like I can't pronounce his name, but the comedian, Indian comedian.
Right, Aziz Ansari.
Yeah. His date came over to his house.
Right.
And she had wine. And then
she was naked, giving him oral sex, and then she was complaining.
Yeah, she went over to his house,
took off her clothes.
But I think it's just a bad date.
Yeah, she's sending a very mixed signal.
Yeah.
It's like he can't read her mind. No, she was saying he was putting her hand on his penis and she would take it away, and that was supposed to be a signal that she was uncomfortable. For me, I would just think that's a signal she's not into that.
Yeah, but some guys are wired differently. If any girls come over to his house, he would think, oh, she wants it.
And she's naked.
And she's naked. I don't know about that, but if she goes over, that's pretty much, I don't know.
What's a guy gonna think?
Yeah.
And certainly in a state of arousal, it's going to be very difficult.
Because I texted this guy one time after like 10, and then this guy's like, I said just like, hi, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do for that show or whatever?
Right.
And then he texted me back and he said, oh, Michelle, do you want to get our rooms together? Like, I pay half. I'm like, no thanks.
What a cheapskate.
I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah, well, I wonder if also, this becomes a condemnation of men and everyone and their sexuality, just men in general. So, it's kind of like Christians have always convoluted sexual expression and rape and sexual assault. And that's the same thing we're happening here. And Christians throughout history have used doing that, saying any sexual expression is going to lead to rape or sexual assault. So we have to censor sexual expression in human interactions, in art, in literature, and film. And that has been their argument, and it seems like it's the same argument coming back now, but in another guise.
Yeah.
With other little labels put on it, but we've really heard these kind of arguments before. And there is some real people that are sexual predators, like I'm sure Cosby and possibly Harvey Weinstein.
Woody Allen,
maybe. I really doubt Woody Allen, because his wife doubts the daughter. So anyway, but that's the thing about it, is you can't prove it one way or the other. The police looked into some of these women and found they were lying. Sure, there's others that are not lying, but you can't prove it. Like the woman they took it to court, the jury didn't believe her, had a hung jury. So these things are pretty hard to prove in court. But I wonder, if there's an upside, hopefully less women will be assaulted. We all hope that. We all hope that there's less, sexual assaults and attacks. But according to the FBI statistics, rape is on its way down. A lot, very, very much so. And that's good. But on the other side, I wonder if just human interaction is going to be stifled. You know, people won't flirt, you know, especially in the workplace. Most people meet their wife or husband at work.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Most people. So you have people now that are afraid to flirt, afraid to interact, afraid to, you know, what's going to be interpreted. You know, if you're looking for a wife or a husband, suddenly you'll be seen as a sexual predator. Rather than someone that just wants, you know, love and a wife or a husband, you know, or whatever it is you're looking for. And it seems that, you know, maybe because of this, we could have, yes, less sexual assaults, hopefully, and less rape, but also because of this, we may also have more unhappy, unmarried people, you know, that don't have a rewarding relationship because they've been taught to be afraid now.
Avoid,
you know, thinking that there's a rapist under every bed, you know, and, you know, waiting for them. And it's just kind of, so I think there's an upside to it, but everything there's a downside.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Yeah, I'm sure lots of people would, you know, get mad at me for that, but you know, I can't help it. That's what I think. I'm sure there's other people that, lots of women too are speaking out, and that's what happened with Aziz Ansari. A lot of people were just like, come on. You know, that was like the end of it there.
Yeah, that was just a bad day.
Bad day.
Yeah, but you know, bad judgment of.
Yeah, let the guy know and get out of there. You know,
I mean, if she didn't want to do it, she shouldn't go. She shouldn't have gone. You know, went back to his apartment.
Don't send those kind of signals. I mean, a woman should be safe. She should be able to go back to your apartment and stuff like that. But you know, you have to understand. Obviously, the guy's looking to get somewhere with you sexually. You know, and. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? And we can't prove any of this stuff. There's no videotapes of it. You know, in his house.
It's just her words.
It's just her word. There was I remember once I heard a guy who was a sports figure, football player, and there were women, you know, that they were just waiting for them at the hotels. You know, they were after them. And this woman was there, and he took her to the hotel room, and afterwards they had what he thought was a normal sexual encounter. And then afterwards she went to the police and said she was raped. And he had videotaped the whole thing secretly because it wasn't illegal in that state. And the woman ended up going to jail for filing a false police report. And he said he always would videotape it because, you know, you never know. So it's like, you know, this is an awful lot of, I don't know.
Like a gold digger in a different
Right,
way.
yeah, she was looking to get money, and there are also sports figures that would say they would have to pay off a lot of women. And, you know, so it's like, if there are women like that, this could also make more opportunities for a woman like that as well. You know, if we're just going to believe everything anyone says. And that's too bad. You know, it's just, it's too bad and too much. But did you hear about any other things you'd like to say about it? What do you think?
What about the physician for the Olympic team?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Frightening to think that a person like that, who's so mentally ill, is going to be in that kind of position for so long. And that's just sad because, you know, these are little kids. And the thing is, you know, he's mentally ill. He's a mentally ill person, okay? But also he knew what he was doing was wrong. So, you know, he's guilty and should be in jail. But I also think that maybe he should just be in a mental hospital because we need to have some kind of a test for physicians that are around children to make sure maybe we could detect So I think just throwing him in jail where he might be killed is probably not the most productive thing. And hating on him, there's lots of hatred towards him. I'm like, okay, he's a very mentally ill person. I don't really hate him. I don't hate mentally ill people. Yes, he did bad things, but I just think, he belongs in jail. He shouldn't be free, but I think probably a mental hospital where doctors can speak to him would be good, rather than just
a regular jail.
throwing him in a dark cell. Because we're going to have to, looking at a case like that, I think you need to start to look at anyone who's in position to be around children all the time and have some kind of an awareness of them somehow, that they pass some kind of a test or something like that, a psychological test, that they speak to a psychiatrist or psychologist that maybe would have some idea or insight into yes or no, this person should or shouldn't be around children, So, but it's amazing. It's an amazing story that he was just there for so long.
And then, how many people came?
And no one knew.
Yeah. And everybody respected him.
Yeah, highly respected member of the community, So, it's just, very troubling and sad. I don't know, what do we do about it now?
Yeah.
Moving forward. So did you read about the memo today?
Yeah, I did.
FISA memo?
Yeah.
It's interesting. We have a shadow government operating behind the scenes, looking at people's stuff. They have a giant supercomputer that they keep all of our emails in and our phone calls. All recorded.
I don't answer phones.
And answer phones is real good because it's all getting recorded. And then later on they say, well, if you are
did something,
if they think you did something, then they get a warrant and then they can look at all your stuff. And they have your porn surfing history on there if you do look at porn.
Oh no.
And I think someday someone's going to hack that government computer, and everyone's porn surfing history is going to be leaked for everyone to see.
No, all those.
And your girlfriend's going to go home. Why did you look at this?
Mine's better.
Yeah. Why are you looking at that weird stuff, you weirdo? You're a pervert. But we'll see what happens. This could be like a big day in history. This could be and they just approved also, the Republicans and the Democrats just approved the authorization to continue to spy on Americans. And I think that should have been stopped. That was supposed to be sunsetted out of the
But the spying is not really working so far. There are so many, people killing a lot of people.
Yeah.
Don't they know? They weren't they able to detect it with all this spying technology?
Right. Well, the danger is, they didn't find 9/11 anyway.
No.
They haven't stopped the other people. And then also the New York Times reported, occasionally there's still a good reporter there, that the FBI is actually finding some of these people online, like the shoe bomber and the underwear bomber. They're finding them online from some of their statements, and they go in and recruit them, and then they give them a bomb, and they say, here, go and do this, and then they stop them, and then they say, okay, we stopped this terrorist attack, but it's really partly manufactured. In fact, the first bombing of the World Trade Center, where they just blew up the parking structure underneath, was an FBI. The FBI actually gave them the explosive material, and they thought they were going to be able to go in and replace it with something that wasn't real. And then the person
And
went
what happened?
on his own and did it sooner than they
God.
thought.
Oh, God.
And then so it happened beforehand. So the FBI blew up the World Trade Center for the first time.
Oh, gee.
And this was reported by the New York Times, which occasionally still has a real reporter in there. And unlike now, we've seen that they're running their articles by the Democratic National Committee for approval before they publish them, which is just incredibly ridiculous. You know, now we don't have. It used to be that the press at least had some kind of. You could tell they leaned one way or the other. That they had some kind of, at least a pretense, that they were trying to be impartial. Now the impartiality of the press has been completely destroyed on both sides. I think you can tell that Fox News is the propaganda wing of the Republicans, and MSNBC, ABC, CBS, and CNN are the propaganda wing of the Democrats. So it's just in the middle now.
Yeah, I don't believe in any news.
No, that's probably good.
Yeah, because you could take one thing and then everybody could take it in a different angle. And what are you gonna believe in? I could only believe in the weather forecast.
Right. Something usually you can't believe that either. Usually they're wrong too.
Well, usually it's fine day.
I try to look at all the news. And it gives me some information. Like today I looked up the Pfizer memo, and I looked at CNN, who were of course trying to say, this means nothing. And I looked at Fox News, and they were saying, no, this means everything. It's probably maybe somewhere in the middle. We will see what happens, and more stuff is going to be, hopefully this will cause more stuff to be released. And people will see how the sausage is made. You know, every right. If the sausage is made out of the parts of the animal that you don't want to eat, round up, and people are going to want to. People don't want to see it. And, people didn't want to look at Snowden and what he revealed, and Watergate. Was one of those things where we really first saw how the sausage is made in Washington. You know, they revealed all the dirty workings behind the scenes. And maybe it cleaned up for a while, or maybe it just got made it worse. They just hide it more.
Maybe they put more preservatives.
Right, they put more preservatives in it, right. You know, so who knows? Who knows what they're going to be. This may lead to more of this stuff being released, but you know, we still have the power is still there. If you have power, it's going to be abused. You know, it's not the matter of, it's never a matter of the abuse of power. It's a matter of if you have power, you're going to use it. You know,
take advantage.
You're going to take advantage. There's your slippery slope. You know, you think, well, we're right, we're in charge, we can do this. And also with Obama, the press loved him so much that they didn't challenge him enough. And when you don't have someone challenging you enough, you know, you're going to maybe go too far out. You know, because you need to have somebody there to do that. And, you know, now with the conservatives have always been, first they attacked Trump as well. But first Trump had the left-wing press and the right-wing press attacking him. You had CNN, ABC, CBS, and Fox News attacking him. And the Republican Party attacking him. And he defeated all of them. He defeated the most, 17 of the best-funded Republican candidates in the history of politics. Not just Republican candidates, but just candidates. The Bushies spent over $200 million to try to stop Trump. And he beat them by downloading a Twitter app onto his phone and tweeting, and then also during the debates, because he became very aware that the rank and file Republican, Joe the six-pack Republican, Joe the construction worker Republican, people that most Republicans are low to medium income people that live in the center of the country, not really on the coast. And what are called the neoconservatives, the Bushites, were out of step with those people. And he got that. He saw that. And they all thought he was nuts. But he saw exactly, and he beat them one at a time. He beat the pants off of them. And a lot of people were saying, he was arguing with them, and it was unpresidential. But the Republican, the average Republican has seen the Democrats or the Republicans cave into everything the Democrats want. And they saw this guy who wouldn't back down no matter what. They said, we want that guy. He's never going to back down. At least they hope so. So he has had to compromise, and there's going to be a lot of people that don't like that. But we'll see what happens. I doubt they'll impeach him, or maybe some charges, I don't know. They keep saying that, but I don't know to what extent it's just ridiculous, hopeful thinking on the part of a lot of people that just rabidly have never seen the press just hate somebody so much. Just hate him. They're just seething every day with hatred of this guy. And I'm a libertarian. I voted for Gary Johnson. I think that the Republicans and Democrats were crazy. They had two awful candidates. We, the libertarians, we gave them two governors of large states who had been served and then were reelected by a huge margin in their states until they were term limited out. They very qualified to be president and vice president, and people didn't go for it. So anyway, that's my perspective. Hey, we told you so. I voted for Gary Johnson. You don't like him? Maybe we should have voted for him instead of Hillary. But the wagons were circled around both candidates, and that was that. And now we have this guy, and I don't know. I think that he's probably going to be in there for another term. And because the factor that is the most important is how much money do you have in your pocket? And that's probably going to continue to be very good for people because he's a cheerleader for the economy and for business. So we'll see if the economy continues to do well. He's going to get reelected by a huge margin. People are just going to have to get used to it. But I remember when Bush was in for 2 terms, the press would just hate on him all day long, but not to the extent of Trump.
Oh my gosh, everybody hates him.
It's just, you live in liberal California and other parts of the country, they love him to death. That's why he's elected there. But we'll see what happens. Time will tell, and a lot of people are hoping for Trump to get impeached. If he does, then you're going to have Pence, and you're probably going to hate him even more. So, and he'll probably be your next president and probably get reelected. So, watch what you wish for. You'll have something worse. What time is it now? How long have we been at it?
No, can I go feed the meter?
Of course, don't get in any kind of problem. Let me pause this right here.
I park right there.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, make sure you don't get... So, you didn't get a ticket, did you?
No. I'm like 4 minutes still. So.
Oh, good. So I went on and on there about politics. What do you have? Do you have anything to say or add or about it? Memo. We'll see what happens with the memo. Is this a big day in history? Is there another nothing? We'll find out over time.
I'm just curious about memos. Are they like handwritten or like typed up?
Probably handwritten and then typed up by a secretary.
Oh, okay. So they have like the original and then a typed up version?
Yeah.
And then the one that looks like an airplane?
Right. The one that looks like an airplane, right. the original notes, who knows? But the who knows? Maybe it's done in a word processor, and then it's a report.
Yeah.
So, who knows how this stuff is done there? How is the sausage made? We're seeing how the sausage is made.
And
we're going to find out.
There might be like different spices.
Right, different spices in there. We'll see one side's trying to spice it one way, and the other side trying to spice it the other way.
Yeah.
Cajun, could be. And then there's like the Democrats are making a big deal saying that this was altered, and then the Republicans are saying, it wasn't altered, they just corrected the grammatical errors. And so, they're going to argue over it.
They're going to argue whatever, so.
They've been arguing anyway, so it's a new thing to fight over. It's like both sides have now got a hold of this thing. It's like, it reminds me of, I used to have a friend who had a pit bull, and he used to give it a towel, and it would growl and hold on to the towel, and he would never let go of the towel. He would take the towel and he would look at this, and he would hang it up in the closet, and the dog would be completely happy just holding onto the towel and growling at the towel. Completely no problem for the dog. Nothing wasn't causing him any pain. The dog was in pain, would just let go. But it's just that's kind of like the Republicans and the Democrats, so angry, growling at the towel, pulling on it.
To me, it seems like they are growing at the wrong thing. What they're supposed to be doing something else other than just get mad at each other.
Right. Maybe this keeps them from screwing up our lives.
And then,
we find that in each time a president gets elected, or you have a president elected with a majority, the American people vote out the Congress and the Senate so that it flips. So that they can't do as much to screw up our lives, hopefully.
I mean, to me, the president really doesn't matter. It's like the people that surround them makes all kind of, reports and like help get the yes or no on that. I don't think president himself can say yes or no on many things.
Yeah, well.
So I don't think I don't think everything's gonna go bad, but
he has a certain amount of power. I don't think he's had the right people around him at first. I think he does now. I think he has the right press secretary now. She's fantastic. I love that woman. But love or hate Trump, I love her because she doesn't take any guff from anyone. She's an incredibly strong woman. She's everything that the feminists say a woman should be, but they hate her guts.
Yeah, when she smiles, she's kind of charming.
Yeah, she's charming, she's funny, and she just is a master of words and rhetoric. And she's just incredibly strong. If you should watch the press conferences with her, she's got this whole room of people just seething with anger and hatred. And saying the worst thing she possibly can. And she just handles them all very, very well and makes an extremely good point. Whether you agree with those points or not, she's making an argument for, what she believes. And much of it is stuff I don't believe. Some of it is a libertarian. Again, I disagree with both sides. I'm happy that they switch from Republican to Democrat because I think that way neither party gets that entrenched. And I don't want to see the government get that much more powerful. True. So I think if you're switching from one group to the other, you're limiting their power to a certain extent. And as a libertarian, I think that's very good because I see power as a very negative thing. So, where do you perform? What have you done in comedy?
Well, I do improv. I went to schools. I went to the Second City and UCB, and right now I'm taking a sketch writing class. So I have to come up with a sketch by Sunday.
Really?
But I don't know. This is my third week.
Be all about Me Too or Pfizer memo or to be about when
it doesn't have to be political. It could be anything.
Anything.
Yeah. So last week I wrote a sketch about Women's March. Mm-hmm. My take was that I don't wanna go to Women's March because it's so crowded and so many people and parking is awful.
Right, where are you going to park at the Women's March?
And then also I can't come up with those Instagram proof signs. I can't compete, so I didn't go.
Yeah, I thought those were the worst jokes I'd ever seen in my life. In fact, I really have a problem with the quality of the Trump joke that there is out there. So I think it's really bad. I can't even watch Saturday Night Live or late night television anymore because I'm so sick of all the lame Trump jokes. Just saying, "Oh, hey, Trump, Trump is bad. Trump has bad hair." It's just like these retarded. I'm like, where's your joke?
Yeah.
It's like the least clever jokes that I've ever seen about a president.
Yeah.
They don't even have a punchline. There's no pun in there. Just nothing but how they hate him, that he's bad and stupid and blah, blah, blah. Like, write a better Trump joke than that. You're supposed to be the best comedians. And you even have writers.
Yeah.
These people even have writers that they employ full time, and you can't come up with better Trump jokes than that. It's like, man, I'm just so tired of it. I wish it was Gary Johnson in there. I'm not a huge Trump supporter, but the way that they constantly call him names, it's just when you get someone in politics and you're just calling names like racist, sexist, homophobic, blah blah blah. To me that means you don't have an argument.
It's not a comedy.
Right. Where's the comedy? So do you do stand-up comedy?
I do stand-up too.
Yeah? Do you have an open mic?
Yeah.
Where is it?
I do it like all over the place. And I'm thinking about starting my own
comedy show.
The open mic in Thousand Oaks, maybe. The city of clean comedy.
Right.
But my co-host wants to do something vulgar. So we have to find a bar.
You have to find a bar, right? So you can be vulgar. Yeah, no, lately I was really offensive when I started out, and now I'm getting really offensive again. In fact, I got less offensive, and now I'm getting more offensive now. And some of the comedians have started complaining and rebelling against me because they think I'm so offensive. But that's comedy.
But that's comedy.
Yeah. And I troll the comedians. I'm a troll to a certain extent. I'll troll people online, and I'll troll
you gotta
the comedians.
Start behaving.
On at the mics and at the shows. And that's how it is. I accepted that when I was going to start comedy, that there's always going to be two people walking out of the room. But I got less offensive there and more clean for a while. Now I've gone back in the other direction. But it's all just a process of
it's just a different
what am I doing?
Period.
Right. I think in this period of time, for me, I react to it by just being ultra offensive and as contrary as I can.
Are you gonna call it like by different colors, like Van Gogh?
I don't know. I'm gonna try to do
blue period.
I just continue to do whatever I want. Like the Me Too movement has been just, for me, hilarious in so many ways. And there's been a part of it that's very serious, but I don't go there. I'm going to go against the grain. And for me, it's just a huge amount of material there that's just every day. But I eventually, my philosophy that I'm doing now in my sets is that there used to be like this thing that the beatniks would do, okay? Like Lenny Bruce, they would go out with a newspaper, and you're supposed to not have anything prepared and just make jokes on the spot about what's in the newspaper. And that's what I've been doing, is just what's in the newspaper that day and telling jokes about it.
Well, gosh, what was the last one? I can't remember this last one, but a few months ago there was a not robbery, thief in Thousand Oaks. He went to a house and he took stuff, but he also used the bathroom.
Oh, really?
But he didn't.
He didn't flush it.
He didn't flush it, and that's how they cut him.
Really?
Yeah.
The evidence.
Yeah.
That's good. You left some evidence behind.
And then, gosh, what was the title of? What's the headline? I can't remember. It was so funny.
He's a shitty burglar.
Clapper. I don't know.
Crappy burglar.
Yeah.
Leaves his shit behind.
Oh no, he said oh crap.
Oh crap! Forgot to flush. Right. See, this is perfect. You can make jokes on that all day. And that's how it's been with me with the U2 and all that stuff. And but to make all these jokes, I have to be very insensitive. And that gets offensive to people. But it's just for me.
It's the comedy.
It's funny not to go there and be PC. Everyone's just trying to be PC. Go, I hate Trump and blah blah blah. And then they get they get some applause, but I'm like, where is the joke? You're going in front of in liberal LA, in front of a bunch of Democrats, and saying politically correct things. To me, that's not funny.
It's like the Wendy's burger. It has to be square. So the burger will show.
Right.
What's the burger?
Yeah. It's too easy to go out and just
that's an easy laugh, yeah.
It's an easy laugh, an easy applause, but where's the joke? And also, I think a lot of comedians are really more interested in being left-wing political activists than they are in being funny. I'm a libertarian activist, and I have been for years and probably will always be. But, I'm not up there to preach libertarianism. It's all done from a libertarian perspective, and that's there, and it probably shows a lot. But, I'm up there trying to be funny, even though I consider myself a performance artist rather than a comedian. But I'm working in comedy, and it needs to be funny, So I don't know. The people are just I don't know where they're going or what they're going to do, but it's the hip thing to do, And you have a lot of people going up being hipsters, and that's really a lot of people are successful being hipsters, growing up and wearing the most hip clothes and saying the hip thing and the hippest jokes and having the hippest intro music and being a cool hip person in the scene, like Jen Kirkman, that's to me not funny in the least bit. She's up there just trying to be hip, trying to be cool, trying to have the right opinions about everything, wear the right clothes. I'm just like, that's not my thing, God bless you, go out there and be successful. I love it when every comedian is successful, that's great. Go out there, find your audience, but it's not my thing that I want to do.
And there's niche in every industry.
Yeah, there's niche, go out and find your audience. God bless you, get out there and do it. You can do that now. Sure, let's have one more decaf. Thank you very much. Can I also have some artificial?
Yeah, sure, I'll have some.
Artificial sweetener, is that possible? I couldn't find any. I was tearing this whole place apart. There it is, thank you.
Thank you.
And some more water, if I could. So, where have you performed?
I've done Comedy Store.
Comedy Store.
Yeah, and then I did Hollywood Improv.
Hollywood Improv.
Yeah, and then all the other small places.
Right. Yeah, I've been here and there, and all in and out of those places. And we'll see. I've actually concentrated on getting outside of LA and then performing outside.
Don't you do musical?
I do musical comedy also. I have done less now. It's very hard to do musical comedy.
Why?
A lot of people love it because I don't play my own instrument, and I used to go on YouTube and then find some background, like when I was singing a country song,
Yeah.
I would find some country instrumentals and play that in the background. Then these musicians started to come up to me and they said, I really love your song, I can play that for you. And I got so spoiled with these guitarists that are so good, who just live to play guitar.
Thank you.
Just playing for me. And a lot of them have gotten jobs or had drug problems.
Oh, no.
And they don't show up, and so I stopped getting booked.
But 4 packs?
Huh?
4 packs?
Too much.
Just 3.
This is going to be fine. I think it's going to be I need some more cream. I should ask for some more cream.
Stop.
No, I'm out of cream. Anyways, so the probably doesn't taste any different. I found when I go to restaurants now, I just put some artificial sweetener in my water, and it tastes just like Diet Coke to me. So I have probably won't be able to tell the difference if I close my eyes. But I didn't even know what I was talking about there. I've lost whatever my train of thought was, and now I've lost it. I haven't the foggiest idea what I was talking about. You know, I've always included improv when I used to do comedy shows. Oh yeah, doing musical comedy. And so I used to get booked and doing musical comedy in a couple of places, but then my guitarist didn't show up.
Oh no.
So I would have a problem, and they won't book me. So I need to find another guitarist that doesn't have a job, who's homeless and lives in his car or something. That's the problem when you have a band. You have to find 4 guys that are such losers they aren't doing anything. They can actually show up to a practice or a gig, you know? So that's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
But, you know, I love to do musical comedy, and I've started to do some, just sing it a cappella sometimes. But we will see. We'll see what happens. I try to find another guitarist, but you have to find someone that really loves what you're doing, you know. But I would love to go on tour, you know. And then I also was trying to call my band the Ejaculators, and the guy who was booking me wouldn't let me go be the Ejaculators. So it just had to be Mark Selzer, which is fine. I can get my name out there more, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, do you open for another band or another act?
I would just be sandwiched in with a bunch of other acts.
Oh, okay, so you can't be a foreplay.
Once in a while, I would just cause. Then there was this other guy who used to book me, but I would just cause riots at his place. People were just so unhappy with what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know, I think if the crowd is more a crowd that would like Frank Zappa or something like that, something more experimental, then they might like me more. But there was just one place of this woman was insulting me, and then I started insulting her, which you never should do. And I started insulting her back, and anyway, there was just caused a riot in the place, a near riot. So you know, that's the way that it is. And he stopped booking me, but then another guy was booking me and really liked me.
Oh, that's good.
But he thought that my guitarist didn't show up, and then I had to cancel some gigs. And the guy had really, really heavy. He got this brilliant guitarist, and just some of the time I would just work with him, and it would just be awesome.
Yeah.
But he just had this horrible drug problem, and evidently still does.
Yeah.
That's one of the problems with musicians, you know, just a lot of dope. So, you know, who knows? So we'll see what happens with the future of my musical comedy, and see if it works.
Yeah.
I'll have to try applying. But see, the thing is, with like comedy clubs, they would have to bring me out and then bring out the guitars as well.
Yeah.
You know, so it would be a lot of money. And you know, I can start to have them tape, you know, roll in tapes, and you know, Bo Burnham does that, and maybe I need to start disciplining myself to that again, but I just don't want it.
Yeah.
So we will see. If I'm going to do it, I would like to have live musicians.
Yeah.
Because it's music, and you have to be able to improvise and change, just like you do in a comedy set.
Yeah, comedy set.
You know, So
improv's great. You don't have to remember the lines.
You have to remember the lines. Yeah, I always include. I used to do shows in LA, and I would always include improv in it because I thought, why not? You have this whole vibrant community of all these people doing this thing just as obsessively as everyone's doing regular stand-up comedy. Bring those people in. Why not? Bring them in and get them out of their improv places and into some other places and mix it up. And usually the crowd loves it. So, to have a break, something else that's different. And I always try to, when I book comics, I try to make sure that it just is as diverse in styles of comedy as I possibly could, and bring in improv people and just bring in like weird people that sing strange songs on the ukulele and whatever it is I can find. This weird guy playing guitar, it's funny, come and play, and anyone just a weirdo that would just go up and just do strange things. And great, I love that stuff. And it also would make it very different. Some people would say, well, that comic's not very good. I say, yeah, but you know what? He's so different from everyone else that's on the show that it's going to make him seem good. Because everyone else is doing this other thing, and then he's way over here. And there was some comedians that I thought were wonderful, and I'd go up and talk to them, and they would be complete dicks to me.
Oh, gosh.
Or just complete, or dicks or cunts, whichever they were. I was like, what are you doing? And it taught me the lesson, always be nice to anyone that comes up to you. Like there used to be this guy who's a musical comic, and I used to be one of the two people that I'd actually go see. Since I'm putting him down, I'm not going to say who he is, but the other person was Maria Bamford, who's wonderful. She's the one comic I will go and pay to see. Okay, Maria Bamford, maybe Louis C.K. if he comes back, but this guy was the other one comic that I would pay to go see, and I went up and talked to him, and he was a total dick to me.
Oh, gosh.
So now he has one less person that will pay to see him. Who used to pay to go to a show.
But not
what
anymore.
a dick. I still think he's great, but just an a-hole. Try to be nice to people when they come up to you and talk to you. And who knows? But anyway, so I tried to include as much improv as I could, and I'm probably going to have another show again. But a lot of people that put on shows in LA, and I'm sorry if I'm talking about, if you're listening to this and you think I'm talking about you, I'm not. For those out there who are listening, if anyone's listening to this, I don't know. But a lot of people that put on shows, they're really not very good comics. And they put themselves up with a lot of good comics, when really what they should be out doing is grinding the mics 3 a night and getting as good as they can. Because you're up there, you're putting yourself up with some really good comics, and you're up there and you're not as good as those people. And I didn't want to be that guy, So if I'm going to do shows, I'm going to do them and then lay off, grind the mics on the shows and other people's shows. I want to be the person that gets put up at the shows because I'm good. I don't want to be the guy that's putting myself on the stage with a marginally successful comedian and thinking, oh, I'm as good as them because I'm on the stage with them, and being delusional about how good I am. And I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person that is good, no matter what. And I do as many shows as I can, as many mics as I can. I'll go to if I have a book show, I go to that, and an open mic afterwards, or a couple open mics beforehand, and go to the show if I have time. If I can. Sometimes I just get exhausted, because I do have to try to have a personal life, and I do have to try to have a job and make money and get rid of my credit card debt,
I went to 2 open mics yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, it was listed on Bad Slava. So I went, and it wasn't there.
Yeah, you have to call first.
I should have, but then I'm like, okay, whatever. I could go to this place, and I went to another place, and
still nothing there.
This place was closed. And it was listed on the list.
Yeah, Bad Slav is not very good, but it is good if you find one. But you should call and read the reviews and or talk to the other comics, you know. And that's why I also run a webpage called on Facebook. It's called Open Mic Comedy Los Angeles.
Okay. I think I'm a member.
And you're probably a member. And that's where I put this and found you on there. And I put that up so that the people can have a place to go so they know where there's a mic. It's really there and it's really going to happen. Because Bad Slav is a great resource. I don't want to put it down. And
but
so is the Comedy Bureau.
Yeah.
You know, is a good place. And usually that's going to be pretty accurate. That's going to be, you know it's going to be there.
And openmic.org.
Yeah, that place also even sketchier than, in my opinion, even sketchier than Bad Slava.
Excuse me, can he have some creamers, please?
Creamers, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. People coming back here. But, you know, there's shows. No, let's get rid of this talk. There's shows that
which open mic do you like the most?
Which open mic do I like the most? Let's see. I go to this one. I don't really like any of the open mics. You know, I used to go to this one place, but the guy who runs the mic I found went up to a girl that I was dating, started saying bad things to me. I'm like, I've brought like, you know, hundreds of people to this guy's mic. I've always been nice to him. I don't know what his thing was. So I stopped going to that one. I won't even say what that one was, but it was one of my faves. And now that's gone. But, you know, there's just some mics here and there that I go to, but, you know, I'm not really happy with any of them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I didn't really like any of them. I like to do shows where I get paid. That's the thing that I like the most. And, you know, that happens occasionally, and it's nice.
That's great.
But what I like to do is I just try to go to as many different places as I possibly can, so I'm never getting comfortable, so that doesn't enter into the equation. Which is good that I probably left that one place that was my favorite mic, because the guy was bad-mouthing me to my girlfriend. Was the because I was there a lot and I was comfortable. So that's not good. I think to get comfortable in a room, it's good to be in as many different places as you can, so the comfort factor doesn't enter into it. Like when I went to Alaska, I was paid to go to Alaska. They paid to fly me up there. They paid for my meals. They paid me to do comedy. And, you know, I was up there, you know, I needed to do 40 minutes of material. And I'm thinking, what if I suck? What if I bomb? You know? And I did. I did fantastic. And, but, you know, you worry about that. So you don't want to be comfortable anywhere. Because, you know, when you get paid, you're going somewhere, who knows where, in front of who knows what kind of a crowd. You know, you better be prepared for any situation, no matter what happens. You have a heckler, you have people talking to you.
Do you have a lot of hecklers before?
I haven't had that many. I haven't had that many hecklers, you know, and it's fine when I do. I just kind of take it as somebody talking to me. And I just talk to them back for a little bit, you know. Rarely have I insulted them or anything like that. I just kind of talk to them for a little bit and just kind of let it go. Or if I have someone yell something out, I might actually say, what was that? You know, and then talk to them a little bit, acknowledge them, and then go back to the material. You know, occasionally I'll have somebody that's hostile, and I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that, you know.
Did you go to many different states or locations?
Not that many. It's just mostly in this state, Vegas a little bit, Alaska. And that's really about it. You know, I want to get out there. I'm still trying, but I love to get outside of LA. You know,
Bakersfield,
I went there.
Fresno,
a couple of times. Fresno, I have not been. San Diego. But we'll see. People tell me get out of LA.
And then each city has different kind of people.
Yeah. People like when I used to go, like in LA, had Trump jokes during the election. I had Trump jokes and I had Hillary jokes.
Yeah.
So in LA, I need to do the Hillary jokes. I need to do the Trump jokes first because they have Democrats.
Yeah.
And then that kind of gives me permission to do the Hillary jokes. But when I get outside of LA, get over to Riverside, you're in Trump country, you have to do the Hillary jokes first, and the Bernie jokes first, then you do the Trump jokes last, because you don't want to make all the Trump fans mad at you, and then you're in LA, you don't want to make all the Hillary fans mad at you early on. So you got to do the other one first. So, there's different things. In fact, I kind of retired all my Trump jokes, but I'm going to bring them back now because I'm so tired of bad Trump jokes. So I wrote some jokes. Hey, I think they're good. Some other people think they're good. And then one of them got stolen from me years ago. This guy stole it from me, and then he started practicing it in front of me.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, man, I can't believe this idiot's doing this. And I haven't seen that person around. You think if you have the skill material, that you're going to be gone eventually. Because what are you doing here? Why are you here? If you've got to steal material,
that's a
why are you
big
here?
no.
And a lot of people, they have material that's kind of rewritten, reworked, average kind of stuff you see on Comedy Central. A lot of those people can be very successful. They just kind of rework whatever is hip and cool and popular on Comedy Central right now. And then, but I think it only takes you so far.
Who's your favorite comic?
Of all time, Steve Martin, Louis C.K., Shelley Berman, who's kind of in the 60s. Lenny Bruce.
Is he the one that says, take my wife?
Hey, no, that's not him. Shelley Berman was kind of a storyteller and a very cynical, kind of dark comic in the 1960s. And then, of course, Andy Kaufman is, of course, I'd say he's my favorite comic of all time, because I'm kind of the same thing at performance artist. And Maria Bamford, Brian Holtzman, I love. And, there are just a lot of comics, and there's a lot of people that I just don't like. I just don't listen to them. I'm just not interested in it. I think it's bad. I used to really like Chappelle. I don't anymore. I listen to him now, and I'm over it. Chris Rock's first album and second album, fantastic when it came out. And now I listen to it, it sounds dated. And his newer stuff is horrible. Just idiots. And, I think you have too many yes men around you, and when you're not really desperate and working on it really hard, and then, it's not really good, you can destroy it. Oh, and then, of course, the seven words you can't say on television.
Oh, yeah.
He's my favorite.
Fire? No.
How come I can't remember his name? I must be getting senile. My favorite comic, I can't remember his name.
Gosh, what's his first name? Isn't that the Pryor guy?
No, Richard Pryor. Kind of the same era.
Yeah. Oh gosh, who is it?
I have George Carlin. I have 20 records by him, 20 CDs and albums by him.
Did he do the voice for Thomas the Tank Engine?
I don't know.
I think so.
Maybe he did. He was always trying to do acting, but he had a miserable, incredibly miserable acting career. He was in a few movies here and there.
Yeah, I think he did the voice for Thomas the Tank Engine.
And they kept trying to give him his own TV show, and it would tank. But he had an amazing comedy career his whole life. It shows you don't have to have a movie career or a TV show to be George Carlin, but that's George Carlin. George Carlin. He's the one of a kind original. I love his stuff. There are times that I do nothing but listen to George Carlin, and I'll do that. I'll go to 3 open mics, and then I'll go to a comedy show, try to get up, or I'll do 2 open mics and a show I'm booked on, and then I'll go home and listen to comedy on YouTube, you know? So, I like it as long as I continue to like it. Sometimes I get burned out, you know, and that's a good thing too. It's a good thing to go up when you're burned out, you know, because you're gonna get burned out.
Yeah, you have to get up and down.
Yeah, everything is going to be ups and downs all the time. So, anyway, what other subject? Is there any other subjects we should talk about?
What other subject that you want to talk about? I don't know.
I don't know. That's about it. We covered
Cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers are really good. I passed a place called Avocado Burgers the other day.
Where
is it? It was really good. It was on the way to Time Warp Records where there's shows. And I saw a place called Avocado Burgers. I really want to go there.
Does it have an avocado in it?
Yeah, it has lots of avocados in it. I like that. Sometimes I get grossed out. I can't eat burgers because I think, what part of the cow is this, you know?
Yeah, true.
But I get a craving for it. The fat burger is my favorite. I usually like cheese, but I need to stop all. I need to eat as little as possible.
Fat burgers used to have little tin of pumpkin pies.
Really?
Yeah, but they don't
think
have that.
they do anymore.
I think they have pumpkin pies and sweet potato pies, but it was like little one.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't know.
You know what was really good was the Kenny Rogers Country Kitchen. Have you ever eaten there?
No, but I just saw that on the internet.
They're so good. It is so good. It's like a home-cooked meal. It is so good. There used to be one down the street. And they didn't shut down because I wasn't going. I don't know why they shut down. I was going every day. It was so good.
Day. Wow.
It was so good. They had yams and they had mashed potatoes and they had rotisserie chickens. They were cooked really good. It was a really super good cooked home meal. And they had cornbread and they had just stuff that was like, you were at your grandma's house and she cooked really good
not my grandma's
American
house.
food. if grandma's house in America.
Okay.
And man, that was a good place. I think it's still around. I
think
but I haven't found one.
I think there's still some, but I think it's in East Coast or that one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's too bad because it was so good. I wish one would open up again. And I really like Quiznos sandwiches, but the 2 that they had 2 in Hollywood. Now they've shut down.
Oh.
Now I've got to go get on the subway to go to Quiznos.
That's funny. You take subway to go to Quiznos.
Right, I take the subway to go to Quiznos. Right, and the subway's everywhere. Subway's I'm always up at 3 in the morning, and the only place that's open is Subway. And I've eaten so many Subway sandwiches. Sometimes I just go. Start walking towards Subway sandwiches, you feel like I'm going to throw up. Because I eat another Subway sandwich, I'm going to barf.
But I like that smell of the bread, though.
The bread, yeah. But Quiznos says the bread there is so much better. Everything's so good.
Where I live, we have Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's, they have that here now, too. That's really good. I had a big obsession with Jersey Mike's, and I was going every day. And then I thought, wait a minute, I'm spending $12 a day for a sandwich. That's stupid. That's like $60,
Do they call the people who works there sandwich artists?
Yeah, I don't know what they call them there, but they have my money, and I thought it's too much money.
$60.
Same with Quiznos, it's just like, man, that's too much money. If I go there and I spend $10 on a sandwich, it's like, I could have gone to the grocery store, I could have gotten, 10 of those breads and, some lunch meat and some lettuce and tomato and some mushrooms and stuck it on there and made a pretty good sandwich myself, but I didn't. And I still make sandwiches at home, but it's still good to go out. But man, Quiznos, it's a good thing they shut down because I waste money. I need to stop wasting my money eating out because I just have a bad habit of eating out, wasting money. It's just too much.
What kind of sandwich do you like the most?
Oh, I usually have some chicken, chicken and mushroom and Swiss cheese and lettuce and tomato.
Sounds good.
And I like it, but I need to stop. And I try to go to the grocery store. Every time I go to the grocery store and I spend bunch of money. I'm like, well, that'll keep me from eating out. You know, keep me from doing it. And I'm actually a good cook because when I was little, I used to watch cooking shows. So I still remember how to cook everything. It was really good.
What do you cook?
Oh, I've cooked all kinds of stuff. I can cook pretty much anything, you know. Salmon. Salmon's great if you want to cook salmon. What you should do is you should, you're going to make a little tray out of tin foil. And you can put a bunch of spices in there in the bottom. And then on top of it.
Oh gosh, you're making me hungry.
And then like cumin's good and garlic, okay, and
melted butter,
paprika, and cilantro, and then what you do is you put orange juice.
Orange juice? Wow.
About halfway
Not
up.
lemon juice?
Orange juice. And then you put it in the oven and you cook it until the orange juice is like a paste at the bottom. It absorbs into it.
Like the reduction sauce?
It's really good.
Oh gosh.
It's like a reduction sauce. That's like the best way, in my opinion, to cook salmon. You know, and then have some vegetables in there, like some asparagus or something like that, and maybe some potatoes.
Yeah.
And but I know how to cook, but I just don't have patience.
I think I'm getting an instant pot.
Right.
Like an instant cooker.
I have a nice kitchen. Sometimes I cook, and sometimes I cook for my friends, and they'll be like, you know, they think, oh, Mark's cooking, you know, I don't want to eat that. But then they see it, they go, hey, you could actually cook. Because when I was little, my parents, if they would have been paying any attention and weren't just drinking, they probably would have noticed I was watching cooking shows, and they probably would have thought that I was gay, you know. But I didn't turn out to be gay at all. And I do know how to cook a little bit. It's weird too because I've had girlfriends and I cook for them, and that will really, they'll think that's a very, very attractive thing is a man who can cook. I don't know why. Some women think that's a wonderful thing. But anyway, in fact,
many of the good cooks are men.
Yeah. You know, I need a woman that can cook. That's really good. You know, that's good. But that's another thing is just, you know, the time to just try to concentrate on relationships, it just kind of goes away if you're trying to do comedy. It's so difficult. Yeah. You know, and my relationships are a mess anyway, you know.
But that's great for the comedy.
Oh, sure, you know. But I think I want to get married one more time.
Oh, how many times have you gotten married? Twice, so that 3 times is the charm.
We will see what happens. I almost married this Nigerian girl who grew up in Texas, and she was wonderful, but crazy as a loon. I keep getting crazy.
So crazy girls love me.
Crazy girls love me, right. I need more of a sane girl, at least someone that's not crazy in a bad way. You know, at least they're crazy, sometimes they're crazy in an okay
about
way.
You, but not crazy
about me,
in their
but
head.
not crazy in their head. We'll see what happens. But anyway, so this is, where can they find you online?
Oh, online it's MichelleMaliZaki.com.
And how do you spell that?
It's MichelleMaliZaki.com.
Okay.
And also I have a song, which is the official song of National Napping Day.
Really?
Yes, and that's coming up next month.
Is it on YouTube or going to be on YouTube? It's going to be on your website?
The song is it's on my website, but it's on YouTube as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's there now?
It's called Nap Time by Napster.
Okay, Nap Time by Napster.
Yeah.
Okay. And people hopefully can find it.
But you have to look it up, National Napping Day, and my song is right there.
It'll come right up. Well, anyway, so thanks a lot for coming out.
Thank you.
I think that we'll end this here and say goodbye to everyone.
Bye-bye.
And this is we're at an hour and a half. It's a pretty long.